drafting a nuptial agreement, post-nuptial or pre-nuptial, what is your preference? Do you have two lawyers? Do you do it through mediation? Do you do it through collaborative law? How do you like to do it, and how does everyone else like to do it?
Mostly in Latvia, one lawyer is preparing a draft of nuptial agreement. And then after this nuptial agreement is approximated with the client, if the draft is sent to the opposing party, where the draft is analyzed together with a lawyer of opposing party. In Latvia, nuptial agreements are quite simple. We either have a nuptial agreement on complete separate regime of the assets or complete mutual regime of the assets. So if the parties have come to the agreement that they will have either one of these agreements, well, mostly there are no discussions anymore left to be discussed. So there is little cooperative work between lawyers because there are no disputes at all. At times, even the nuptial agreements are prepared by notaries public, which are neutral public bodies with the competence to help drafting legal documents. Regarding the mediators, there is no statistics how many times mediators are helping to draft this nuptial agreement. My practice says that never. Mostly the mediators can discuss necessity to have nuptial agreement, but mediators mostly leave this job for the competent lawyers.
Yeah, so mediators are more about separating couples than couples who are about to embark on marriage.
Comforting them in the dispute, but not helping to draft this quite specific legal document, yes.
Yeah, I mean, in England, it's becoming more popular for mediators to be involved in nuptial agreements. What about you, Diana?
Well, this is one of my aims. I would really like that the people in Spain, the spouses or the future spouses, would seek advice from lawyers. But the truth is that they usually they don't seek advice from lawyers, and they go directly to the notary. The problem is that the notary is going to sign or is going to explain very, very briefly the agreement, but is not going to explain the consequences of the signature of that agreement. And because in Spain, we do not have much, it's not very common to sign agreements for the breakdown of the marriage. Usually we do it to alter the matrimonial regime. So the spouses attend the notary without the lawyers. And of course, when the breakdown, when there's a breakdown of the marriage, then they find out the consequences. And I have seen many, many nasty surprises. So, however, the pre or post-nuptial agreement can be drafted by the lawyer, can be drafted by one lawyer, but I always advise that there should be two lawyers, because there's always this one lawyer who is going to advise to one party, or it's the lawyer of the husband, or it is the lawyer of the wife. So I would advise that two lawyers are used, but that is not the common practice. Mediators, the mediators, as in Latvia, they are for separation, they are for divorce, but never for nuptial agreements. Lawyers are not included, and mediators even less. And collaborative law, no, there's no collaborative law. So really, they all go to the notary, and they sign before the notary without advice.
So I'm sensing actually, Diana, that you probably have lots of ideas and you'd like to change to be forthcoming. Now, Lisa obviously is a big collaborative lawyer, so I imagine she'll say something a little bit different too.
I am, and I have a lot of opinions about this particular topic. So a little bit of background. So in British Columbia, Canada has different provinces and territories, and the family law, the division of property, and the method of dealing with spousal support varies from province to province and territory. So I am only speaking about British Columbia law here, and it would be absolutely mandatory to have a lawyer involved from whatever jurisdiction if there's cross, even if there's assets in different jurisdictions in Canada, and then absolutely if there was assets internationally, I would be getting in touch with one of you. I think that from a relationship point of view, and that even though I'm a divorce lawyer and a family law mediator, it's one of the most unique opportunities to strengthen a relationship when couples can negotiate their prenuptial agreement together. I think that it's a very unsophisticated method of kind of drafting on one person's instructions in terms of keeping everything on my side and then presenting it to your future spouse. I mean, it's explosive. It is can be quite ruinous for the relationship, and I don't think that that's anybody's intent, but that's the impact of doing drafting without input from both sides. My strong preference is to use collaborative practice or mediation where the future spouses are able to have frank and full conversations about not only what's important to them and why, but what is their understanding of various different clauses? Do they understand the impact of that clause right now in the early parts of their relationship? Is that their intention at 5 years? Does that match their intention at 15 years? And I think it's just a real money saver to have both lawyers present with both clients at the same time, because you can easily deal with any misunderstandings or misapprehensions. In our jurisdiction, I do a lot of these collaborative type of negotiations. We then decide who of the lawyers will draft the agreement, and then we'll often reconvene for another four-way meeting to go over the agreement together to make sure that it still matches everybody's understanding. And I've been practicing for over 20 years now and have yet to have one of these agreements surface upon separation as something that's problematic.
Well, I think that's probably the best answer in terms of what we all aspire to, because it is a kind of pre-marriage counselling, isn't it? Testing out each other's attitude to wealth, to children, to going back to work, to sickness and health and longevity of marriage. It's difficult conversations that probably need to be had and generally aren't had unless you have a prenup.